On the sensitive issue of homeland security, with all the dangerous threats swirling right now, should one government agency be stripped of a critical job and that job be given to another government agency? Let's bring in our foreign affairs correspondent, Jill Doherty. She's over at the State Department with more on this story. Jill, you're not at the State Department. You're here in our bureau, but you're normally at the State Department. Tell us what's going on.
Well, Wolf, you know, the State Department says when it comes to that attempted airline bombing, it did what it did according to existing procedures. But existing procedures, it admits, still leave gaps. And to fill those gaps, just last week, for the first time, as the president mentioned, it began including crucial information in cables about suspicious people as to whether or not they have a U.S. visa. But the question is tweaking the system enough?
A United States visa, a coveted document, the key to visiting the U.S. For more than 2 centuries, it's the State Department that's been responsible for handling official travel documents like this. Yet the alleged Christmas Day bomber had an active U.S. visa, and in spite of his father's warnings, it was never canceled. Now some critics say no more visas for the State Department.
The function of dealing with diplomacy with foreign governments should be in the State Department. But protecting our borders is now a hell of a lot harder than it was in 1789. We have an agency that does that. DHS has customs in it, it has immigration in it, and this is the kind of border protection function it was created to do and that ought to be lodged at DHS.
DHS, the Department of Homeland Security, should be issuing visas, this former Bush Deputy National Security Advisor says, and revoking them when necessary. That's how the British, Canadians, and Australians, among others, handle it, he says. Already, U.S. Customs and Border Protection, which is part of DHS, is responsible for keeping terrorists out of the U.S. and for enforcing immigration laws. But the State Department, which issued close to 6 million visas last year, says although it's revising some procedures as a result of the attempted airline bombing, issuing visas should remain a State Department responsibility.
To the extent that members of Congress have surfaced this idea, there could very well be hearings on this subject. We'll welcome the opportunity to discuss this further, but in our view, this remains an idea whose time has not come.
But could having one central agency in charge make more sense? President Bush's Homeland Security Advisor says yes.
The fewer agencies that you need to touch the security issue, the less opportunity there is for human error.
And right now, the State Department says it's studying procedures it can change, including doing more things electronically. And amazingly, right now, according to one official, the department reports that a visa has been revoked by sending a letter. They're looking at doing that electronically. Wolf?
They got to get up to date on the technology. Thanks very much.